Fan, I apologize. They were trying to pull a little fast one. Who was it down here that was totally like, you're wrong? It's not. Was it you? Was it you? What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not Todd. I love you anyway. I'm so glad you guys are here. You know what? I didn't get a panel. So this kind of worked out. And, you know, please don't leave. Just because I'm not Todd. Damn it, man! Sit down! Security, close the doors. Padlock them. No, something happened and I didn't get a panel scheduled. And which is like my favorite thing, to talk to you guys. And so, so like literally the day before I got here, Tom contacted me by email and he said, yeah, so something happened with Todd's schedule and he's not going to be able to make it. Do you want to take one of his panels? And I thought, one of his panels? Wait a minute, he's got more than one? And I got squat? I'm like, yes, I do. I want to steal all of his fans. So I said, absolutely. Give me a chance to talk with you guys and hang out a little bit. Have you been having fun?
We just got here.
You know, I just realized I've been at FanExpo been a guest here for, I think, like 10 years in a row. Clearly I love Toronto, right? I clearly like, and man, how many of you have been coming to this show for that long? Anybody? Isn't it amazing how much it's grown? Like, I remember when it was just here, and we all stayed at the Intercontinental, or no, the Renaissance, the one that overlooks the ballpark, right? Right here. And to see it just explode the way it has, it's been amazing. And they let me come back, and I'm very, very happy to be a part of it. So I want to spend as much time talking with you guys about anything you want to talk about. Real quick, probably one of the questions you will ask is, what are you working on right now? Todd? Now I'm working on Star Trek Continues. Todd and I do this great web series. Have you seen it? Yeah. Did you come last night? Anybody come last night? No. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I hate you, I hate you. I love you. No, you guys need to come. If you haven't seen it, check it out online. StarTrekContinues.com. And not just me and Todd, but Chuck Huber, another great voice actor, plays Dr. McCoy. So Kirk, Spock, and McCoy have been taken over by anime. And the episodes are all online, and here's the magic word, they're free. Not like swimming pool free, but free. And free to watch, and check them out at StarTrekContinues.com. We have 9 released, and 10 and 11 will be out in October and November. Awesome. And even if you aren't like a huge Star Trek fan, I think you'll enjoy them, but I'll bet your dad is. Or
Absolutely.
Your mom, or your uncle, or your school teacher, or neighbors. So let people know about it and check it out. Before we take questions, and by the way, as soon as I'm done here, I'll be heading back over to the other building and be signing all afternoon, and would love to meet you. Come and say hello. A lot of people, I don't know if anyone in this room, since you're Todd Havercorn fans, but a lot of people wrote me and asked me if I was going to be bringing any of my music CDs or my concert DVD. I've been writing and producing music twice as long as I've been voice acting, and I've been voice acting a long time. So that's an extra long time. And I've got those, and I have to tell you about my concert DVD because not only does it have a lot of great music from Full Metal and Dragon Ball Z and Dean Angel and Or in High School, but it also has a live action parody that me and the other voice actors from Full Metal did cosplaying as our characters.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Scary. Yeah, like me as Edward Elric, come on. Here's my cosplay as Edward. But that's on the concert DVD, a lot of great music. I've got those over at the table, and I hope you'll come over when we finish here and come say hello. And, let me give you my list. I wrote a list of the stuff I'm working on, because I always forget. And probably you're not going to recognize a lot of the titles, because there's a lot of anime out there. Some more well-known than others. And so I'm going to go through the list quick, just so I can get it out there, so that if anyone wants to know what I'm working on, now you'll know. Unbreakable Machine Doll, Space Dandy, Carnival, Tokyo Raven, Maji, Sailor Moon, Rock Lee, Free. I love Free. Come on now, boys. Get your Speedo bathing suit on and head to the pool. Brothers Conflict. Really? My character's a dick. He is, isn't he? Oh my gosh, he's such a jerk. But I love him. He's so fun. Futo. Where was I? Brothers Conflict, Durarara. Black Butler. You like Black Butler. You like very much. Okay, I have to tell you my Black Butler story since she yelled so loud. So when the very first Black Butler was being cast, they asked me to audition for it, and I did, and I sent it in. And Colleen Klinkenbeard, who's actually here, she's awesome, and she was originally directing Black Butler. And she wrote me back and she said, "Hey Vic, I got your audition. Sounds great, but your British accent sucks." Sounds like, darn. And so, they cast it and off they went. And then the second season came along, and they contacted me again, and they said, "We want you to audition for a character named Claude." You know who that is? You do, don't you?
Oh, good.
My little screamer. And so I'm like, this time I'm gonna do a butt-kicking great job on that accent, right? I know maybe it wasn't that good the first time, but I'm gonna really work it hard. I'm gonna even send my audition to my buddies in Britain and bounce it off them and make sure that it's legit. And they wrote me back and I'm like, sounds great. So I sent it in, and who is it that directs now? The guy, oh my gosh, right out of my head. Yes, Ian Sinclair. So Ian was directing by this time. And he writes me back and he says, "Hey man, thanks for your Claude audition. Your British accent still sucks." Aww. So I was like, darn, I'm never gonna get to be a Black Butler. And then Book of Circus came along. And I was, exactly. I was like, not again. More shame, more humiliation. And it was even worse because it wasn't just British now, it was Cockney British. And, but anyway, I finally got to play a fun character, Peter, and in Black Butler. So, Heroic Legend of Arslan, Garo, really? I love you, dude.
It's amazing.
Is it?
It's a great show.
I love you. A lot of man love right here. Garo, Rage of Bahamut, Show by Rock, Ruby. I love me some Uncle Crow.
I need to
A
hug.
good stiff drink and Uncle Crow. I love it. Lord Marksman of Venatus, Ladybug. Eater, that's a video game. Battle Battalions, video game. Escaflowne.
Yes!
Old school, baby.
Oh shoot!
Now, you know what's really cool about Escaflowne?
I forgot.
Is that I play the older brother. And guess who plays my younger brother? Aaron Dismuke, who played Alphonse, my younger brother in Fullmetal. So that was kind of fun. It's gonna be the brothers together again. Okay, let's see.
That's in the new dub, yeah.
World of Winx, Tonari, Utaware, Anti-Gang, I'll Know a Zero, Pillars of Eternity, that's a video game. Fairy Tale. Thank you. I play Nazi. No, I don't play Nazi. In fact, I used to call Havoc and I'm like, come on, dude. I made you frickin' Spock. Put in a good word for me, yo. I want to be in Fairy Tale. And he's like, I'll do what I can. And so, but nothing ever happened.
Aw.
So finally, Tyler was gracious enough. I think they cast everybody else. I think is what happened. I think they ran out of voice actors. Like, I guess we have to use Vic. So I played Mark Gere. He's awesome, bad guy. And he does beat the crap out of Natsu at one point. Felt really good about that. Yeah. Strike Witches. Garo Crimson Moon. Charlotte Digimon. Playing Matt in Digimon. Rio Rainbow. Charger Girl Judah-chan. Welcome back, Tom. World of Warcraft. I have to tell you my World of Warcraft story. Can I tell you my World of Warcraft story? So, can I have some of that? Is there any water? Is that my water?
Yes, that's your... No,
Is this my water?
Yes.
Yay, water. So World of Warcraft. So, I didn't even know what World of Warcraft was. I'd never heard of it, and I'm talking like years ago. Daryl, good to see you, buddy. And so years ago, a friend of mine wrote me one day an email and said, hey, you're a Star Trek fan, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. And she said, have you seen this World of Warcraft commercial that William Shatner did? And I was like, no, what's World of Warcraft and where can I find it? So she sent me a link and I watched it. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. And I started clicking around at some of the other World of Warcraft commercials, right? And I noticed that there was a theme. They were all just in a white room, right? And he was like, I'm William Shatner, and I'm a warlock. And whatever, and and then they would have in-game footage that they would cut in, right? But as I was watching these commercials, I thought, man, I could make one of these. And so I made a World of Warcraft commercial. I didn't know anything about World of Warcraft, but I made the commercial. Just for fun. The World of Warcraft people didn't even know who I was, or didn't even probably know that I did it. But I did it for fun, and I was kind of like, kind of did a little alchemy twist in it and stuff. So then I started being represented by a voice talent agency in Los Angeles, and they started sending me World of Warcraft auditions. And I thought, well, dang, I gotta get in World of Warcraft. I made a commercial for them, so now I gotta get in it. So I started recording auditions. But I started noticing that they would send me auditions for characters that I would never, ever get cast as. Ever. Like, they would send me these auditions, and the descriptions like, this character is 12 feet tall, and he's 400 pounds, and he's a mean, dark, angry... Listen to me. I'm not gonna get that guy! You know what I mean? But I started getting kind of bummed out. I'm like, why are they sending me these auditions for characters that, like, I'm never gonna get cast as? And so occasionally I would get one that I would feel like I did a good job with, but then I wouldn't get cast as that either, and I started getting discouraged. I gotta admit, I started getting discouraged. And the ones that I didn't feel like I was right for, I wouldn't even record them. Like, why waste my time, right? There are 1,000 people out there that are better suited for that role. Why waste my time? So one day, I was in my little home studio, and I was recording some auditions, and I just finished up, and my recording program was still open. Mike was still hanging right in front of me, and I got an email from my agent with another World of Warcraft audition. And I opened it up and I read it, and it literally said, he's 14 feet tall. He has the super low, deep voice. And I'm like, here we go again. Another one that I'm never gonna get. But I was bored this particular day, and I thought, well, I'm sitting here, the mic's right here, the program is on, let's just go ahead and record the audition. So I pushed my voice as low as I could. And I did the best that I could, and I figured it probably wasn't good enough. But then I had an idea. My recording program will allow me to pitch shift. I could make it sound like I'm high on helium, or I could make it much lower. And so I thought, Yeah.
Oh
I dropped it 2 semitones. No, you know, semitones, it's like a music step. I have like a semitone is a step in music. So I dropped it 2 semitones, and it sounded cool. Scary, it was awesome, I have to say. So I sent it in. They cast me to play this character. And my first response was, woohoo! I'm gonna be in World of Warcraft! And my second response was, oh crap. What happens when I walk into the studio and go, hi, I'm Mignogna. And they're like, who is this guy with this voice is not him. So I was kind of nervous, a little nervous about going to the recording session. But I did. And I walked in and, hi, good morning, and said hello to the producer from Blizzard. And she said, hi, we're so happy to have you. We loved your audition. And I was like, yeah, about that. I pitch shifted it down. And she said, oh, we know. And I was like, wait, you know? And she said, that's what we liked about it. It's an orc that I was playing. I was playing like the leader of the orcs. His name is Ner'zhul, if you know World of Warcraft. And he's a bad dude. And she said, but the thing is, orcs aren't real. So when you pitched it down, it gave it some kind of a inhuman, right? Not organically human sounding tone. Nothing you could really put your finger on. It just didn't sound like a voice that any regular guy could do. And it actually played perfectly into the character because he's not human. So it just goes to show you, you never know when you do something, what's gonna work, what people are gonna like, and what they're not gonna like, right? So let's continue with the list. Kind of got off track with that. World of Warcraft, Asterix War.
Yes.
Star Trek Online.
Woo!
Oh my gosh, see that's important to me because even though I do this Star Trek series, it's not an official Star Trek series. It's not a licensed CBS production where we're all getting paid and it's on television, it's not like that. So when I got cast in Star Trek Online, I was like, ooh, like this is official, licensed, real Star Trek. So the 12-year-old in me is very excited to get to be a part of Star Trek. Mobile Legends, Skip Beat, Seven Knights, One Punch Man, Rurouni Kenshin, Danganronpa, Sonic the Hedgehog, Orange, Token Ranbu, Drifters, Galilee Dana, Yuri on Ice. What is up? What is the Yuri on Ice thing? You guys love it. Oh, Yuri. There's a character named Victor.
Yep.
And I just found that out. I'm like, my name's Victor. But I love it. Sonny Strait and I were the commentators for the competition. Umaru, Joker Game, Nanbaka, League of Legends, One Piece. Yeah, One Piece. I did a lot of the theme songs. I did like 3 of the theme songs, and then I played several little episodic characters. But I was cast to play Sabo in One Piece. I'm very excited about that. And then there's that I'm not allowed to talk about yet. And then there's this other show that I'm doing, and I want you guys to check it out. I'm very excited about it. It's called The Reflection. And Stan Lee's company is producing it.
I've heard of this.
It's pretty cool. It's a superhero anime kind of a thing. In fact, we've coined a new term, Stanime.
Stanley.
Which is like amazing. I wish I had thought of that. But check it out. I think Funimation or Crunchyroll are releasing it, but it's being produced by Stan Lee's company. And I'm playing this really cool superhero guy. So that's what I'm doing. There are a couple more that I'm working on that haven't been announced yet, but those are the things I'm working on. And so let's take whatever time we have to talk with you about any questions you may have about what I do, what Todd does, and I will make up a good answer, I promise you. Anybody have a question?
You don't want
Yes,
any
sir.
of his answers?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There are a lot of, almost probably every recording session, you're going to have phrases or lines of dialogue that don't quite fit. For a number of reasons. The most of which is sometimes they may be overwritten, like there are too many words, like it just doesn't fit. Or not enough words. Or maybe a phrase doesn't work well, or maybe a phrase ends with a big wide open mouth flap, and the line that was written ends with the word to. You know what I mean? Or mean. And it doesn't fit. So you want to make adjustments. And that's something that the voice actors and the directors kind of collaborate on. One thing that I found often is, if you're a writer, if this girl is writing a script for an anime, and they gave her the original Japanese translation, and then she's writing the English for what I'm going to record. She'll do the line, she'll watch the anime, and she'll do the line in her mind and make up the line for the character. And when she does it, it fit. So she writes the line. But sometimes the writer doesn't perform the line in their mind the way the actual actor does. So when I get into the studio and I do the line she wrote, it's not long enough, or it's too long. So you have to make adjustments for the specific actor that's doing the line. That's always something that you make small adjustments on. Yes?
For Digimon, did you know your role? Like, did you have to research it for that?
No, actually, I didn't.
I'm surprised.
You may not be surprised, but you may be surprised that there isn't a ton of research or prep time in anime. You've heard the old adage, time is money? Well, that's absolutely true in production, because it costs a lot of money to rent a studio and to hire an engineer and writers and all of the different elements that go into a dub. And so often you don't have a lot of prep time. You don't know a lot about something. In fact, sometimes, I'll just be hired to come in and I don't even know what I'm doing. And I'll walk into the studio and the director will go, hey, here's the script. You're playing this guy. He's this kind of person. Tells me a little bit about his character. That's him on the screen. And go. Wow. What do you think? What are you thinking for a voice? And I will do a voice based on what he looks like and the description of the character. And the director may say, yeah, maybe lower, maybe a little older, make him a little older. And so I'll do the first line again, and I'll make him a little older. And they go, yeah, now make him a little more intellectual sounding. And I'll do that, and he'll go, nah, go back to where you were. Make him a little more nasally, you know what I mean? And we'll work together to decide, literally on the spot, what the character should sound like. Now, it's not always that way, but often you don't have a ton of time to prepare and research and look into it. Apparently, I was cast to play Matt in Digimon because the people doing the show liked my audition, and they thought that I sounded sufficiently like the original Matt.
You actually do.
That's what they said, and I didn't even know what he sounded like. So when I got into the studio and they said, this is the original Matt, I'm like, oh, okay. And so, my goal was even to dial in a little bit of the original Matt so that the people that are watching it don't feel, they're not jarred too much by the difference. Because we definitely want to honor the original. Question? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
So yesterday, a certain drunk uncle wandered into the Ruby Q&A. Yeah, I count that. And you asked the girls what they would drink in battle. So, what would Crow drink in battle?
I don't drink much. I mean, I'm not an alcohol drinker much. I'll have a glass of wine with dinner or something, you know what I mean? But I don't drink, so I am not in any way a connoisseur. Like, I literally don't know the difference between whiskey, rum, bourbon, whatever, scotch. I don't even know. Like, you could line them up, and tequila, I don't know. I don't know anything. So it's funny that I'm playing this guy who's drunk all the time. But, no, but if I were to answer as Crow and somebody said, what do you like to drink when you go into battle? I'd probably say, whatever you got. All of it. I'll drink it all. Mix it all up, I'll take it. Probably so. Yes?
In Orange High School Book Club, what's the most memorable line?
I love Oro so much. What's the most memorable line? Well, you know what? The most memorable line, I have you to blame for that. All of you. I didn't know a lot. Hi, I'm Todd, and welcome to my panel. I love Tamaki so much. I loved playing that character so much. One of the things, remember how I just mentioned how they'll hand you the script and say, go. If you perform the line good, if your performance is good and it matches the mouth flaps the first time, you don't have to do it again. You go to the next line. Which means that you probably aren't going to be committing lines to memory. It's not like a stage play, right? Where you have to learn all the lines and then you have to go out on stage and perform the role, all of the lines on stage in front of everybody from memory. One of the cool things about voice acting is you don't have to memorize the lines. In fact, we have the script right in front of us. And if you do the line right the first time, you never have to say it again. Which is the goal, of course, is to do it right the first time. Time is money, right? Get it done quickly. So, some of my favorite lines of any character have ended up being the ones that you guys told me you enjoyed. Because I don't even remember until you tell me. So I would probably say some of my favorite Tamaki lines are some from the very first episode. Because in an anime series, one thing that you'll find is very typical in an anime series is every character will say and do things right out of the gate to establish their character. They want you to know by the end of episode 1 who this guy is, what his character is like. So Tamaki comes right out of the gate, right? Welcome, poor person, and you know what I mean? And you're a hero to poor people. How do we? Long live the poor. And he's got all of these lines that immediately tell you what kind of person he is. And then, of course, there's the line that people ask me to do all the time that is probably one of my favorites, and that's the old, what if I let you drink this coffee from my mouth? And I didn't even remember saying that until somebody asked me to do it, And I loved that so much. I really enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh.
But, and then even as Edward from Full Metal. Somebody in a panel like this asked me one time, what's your favorite line that you said as Edward? And I only said 1,000 things. And I didn't know what to answer, and so I kind of was crafty, and I went, what's your favorite line? And this person said, I really like when you said that there are so many people's asses you have to kick that you need to make a list to keep track of them. And I looked at him and I said, I said that? That's funny. I didn't even remember saying it. So a lot of the best lines are ones that you guys come to conventions and tell us that you enjoyed. Those are some of my favorites, or the ones that you enjoyed. Yes, sir.
What song Havercorn doing right now? Sorry. Had to split that one, didn't you?
He's having a smoothie and watching porn. Todd Havercorn. That's what they call him. You know what? Anybody who's shooting video right now, I love Todd. I hope you know that, right? You know that. I mean, Todd is like the little brother I never had. I love him to death. He's so talented and he's so funny, and we are the best of friends. In fact, I messaged him the moment that I heard he wasn't coming, and I was like, dude, you're not coming? Because I brought cigars for us to have cigars. We have a tradition. And I love the guy to death. We tease each other a lot. But at the end of the day, I love him a lot. So don't go get on your Facebook and, oh, Vic was making fun of Todd. Vic hates Todd. Vic said Todd watches porn. Vic, don't do that. Clearly you can tell I'm messing around. Yes? Mm-hmm.
Hi. So, I know that you're a singer as well. I would like to ask you, since I recognize that you guys were bringing up singing terms, are there a lot of things that you've learned as a singer that you've been able to adapt?
Absolutely. Did you hear that? Oh my gosh, yes. In fact, most voice actors I know, not all of them certainly, but an awful lot of them are singers and musicians. And I can't quite describe it. I don't know what it is, but there is a musical quality to voice acting. That doesn't even make sense. I don't even know why. But the people that have a sense of music and a sense of rhythm and a sense of tempo, just inherently, they just tend to get voice acting. They tend to, you know what I mean, to settle into it more quickly. I don't know why, but it definitely exists. And you know, one thing that singing does is it makes you familiar with your voice, right? Singing helps you know what you sound like and how to make your voice do certain things, and you become familiar with your voice, and that certainly helps as a voice actor. Sure.
So, unrelated, but Full Metal Alchemist is actually the reason why I went into my career right now. I just graduated from engineering because I wanted to be Winter Rockville.
Oh my God, I love you. I love you. What's your name? Oh my gosh, congratulations. So you're like gonna make auto mail and stuff, right? That's awesome. Can I tell you something? There is no amount, no paycheck that is worth more than that, to me. I don't know if you guys know this, but anime voice actors don't make much money. Just trust me on this. Trust me. It's literally an hourly job. And you don't work every day, 9 to 5. So there's no guarantee that you're gonna get a lot of work or how much work you're gonna get. And it doesn't pay a lot. In fact, anime pays less than anything, even though it's probably the hardest type of voice acting. But that's fine with me. I don't do anything I do for money. I love what I do. If I can pay my bills, if I can get something to eat and pay my rent, you know what I mean, and drive a car that doesn't break down, I'm happy. And so I never got into voice acting for the money. But to hear stories about how work that we did, a show or a particular character or a particular story, inspired somebody in some way, that is priceless. There is no dollar value you could ever put on that would be worth more than, it's just priceless. I love hearing those stories. Thank you. You just made my day. Thank you. And you know how I told you about how much I loved Star Trek. William Shatner, and the original Star Trek. I just ate, slept, and breathed that show when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, through those years, early teen years. It inspired me to do things that I do professionally today. And I actually had the chance to tell Bill Shatner that he was a father figure to me. Like, my parents divorced literally at the very moment I discovered Star Trek. And I locked on to this cool, handsome, strong, brave guy, leader of men, taking care of his friends, adventurer. And he became very much of a father figure. And I had the chance to tell William Shatner that privately, and we've become friends over the years doing events like this, signing at events together. So I say that to say, can you even imagine what it is like when people come up to my autograph table and say, "You are my William Shatner"?
Oh.
I just melt. I literally melt, because I would have never imagined when I started voice acting 18 years ago that I would ever be a part of something that would impact people's choices in career or relationships or, a lot of big things, the way that several of the things that I've had the privilege to be a part of have, in the same way that Star Trek inspired me. So I am above all men most blessed. I am so indescribably grateful for the privilege to have done and to do what I get to do. I'm very, very grateful. And has absolutely zero to do with any money. Yes?
So you started voice acting 18 years ago.
Yes.
So I assume the landscape has changed since then.
Very much. Very much. In fact, I feel bad when people say, "What do you need to do to be a voice actor?" Like, how can I be? Because it's a very different world now than it was when I started. When I started, anime was this little niche subculture thing. It wasn't everywhere. It wasn't anywhere near the popularity that it is now. And I was acting and doing video work in Houston, Texas. You pray for them, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They got it bad right now. A lot of my friends. I was working in Houston and doing acting and video and film work, and a guy that I was working with one day, 18 years ago, said, "Hey, you got a lot of acting experience, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You should go and audition for this place. They buy these Japanese anime cartoon things, and they dub them into English, and they're looking for actors." All I heard was, they're looking for actors. Because I was an actor and I wanted to act. If you're an actor, you want to act. I didn't care about, did it pay? I didn't ask him, well, how is it going to be distributed? Or how much does it pay? I wanted to act. So I went and auditioned and I got cast. And it literally, you could probably have fit ADV on this stage back then. It was a tiny little company, and they loved anime and they wanted to dub it into English for people to enjoy. And you're right, the landscape has changed enormously now because so many people want to be a part of it. I've often thought, thank goodness that I got in when I did. I probably would never get cast today, like if I was just auditioning, out of the blue. But it has changed a lot, a massive amount. So it is difficult. But you know what? It's difficult to get into any creative field because there's so many people that want to do it. And if you want to get into something like that, I would say your best asset would be a thick skin. Don't get discouraged easily. Don't give up, you know what I mean? And be like, this is harder than I thought, or, it's people that stick with it that end up succeeding. You know, there are a lot of people, you can turn on the radio and hear a lot of songs, people that can't sing to save their lives. You're like, how did they ever get on the radio? Or watch a TV show and go, this guy's a horrible actor. How in the world did he get cast? They didn't give up. They're not necessarily the best actor or the best singer that God ever made. They just didn't give up. They kept going and refused to be discouraged. And they were in the right place at the right time, and they got an opportunity, and they made the most of it. That's the best thing. That's the best encouragement I could probably give you if you're interested in any creative field, is don't give up easily. Don't get discouraged easily. Yes?
Seeing your inspirations really gave me a lot of work there. So I'm really hoping to go into the world of voice acting. So
I wish you the very best, my friend.
is there anything, like any good words you could say as I try to go on this journey?
Well, the word I just gave you is the best one. Don't give up.
Of course.
Don't get discouraged. The other thing is acting. You know, the operative word in voice acting is acting. It's not voice, ironically. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, I can imitate Homer Simpson. Oh, I can sound just like Yoda. Oh, I can imitate so-and-so. Well, guess what? There's already a guy playing Yoda. You know what I mean? Like, that guy already got cast. I do a great Yoda, but I'm not expecting to get cast as Yoda anytime soon. It's not about imitating people that you, or characters that you hear, that you like. That's cool, and it's probably fun at parties, but that's not what voice acting is. Voice acting is playing a character, playing a role. Playing a role and being able to communicate the emotions of that character, the highs and the lows, the joys and the disappointments and the heartbreaks and the fear and all of that. And that is, at its core, acting. So get as much experience as you can as an actor. Get involved in school productions. Get involved in community theater, church productions, anything to develop your skills as an actor. And then secondly, you have to live where the work is. That is a harsh reality of probably any field. If I wanted to be a country western singer, I'd move to Nashville, country music capital of the world, or maybe Austin, Texas, or someplace where that kind of work is prevalent. And voice acting is no different. You could be the greatest voice actor ever. And if you live in Halifax, chances are you're not going to get a lot of opportunities to voice act, right? I mean, that's just the reality of it. So there are a handful of cities where that kind of work is done. You have to be where the work is prevalent. And then the third thing is, like I said earlier, you can't give up. You just can't get discouraged easily. That's a big one. Yes, my dear. Hold on, since you're close, we'll let everybody hear your question.
Okay, so what was your favorite part about playing Margaret in Fairy Tale, which you did a great job in, by the way, and if you had an opportunity to do so, would you ever voice another character on Fairy Tale?
Absolutely. I didn't even know much about Fairy Tale, and I didn't realize that it was going to be as popular as it was, and I don't think a lot of people did. Todd's done such a great job as Natsu, and ever since the show keeps going and going and going and going, the more I've heard about it, the more I wanted to be a part of it. And whenever I would go to Funimation to record something, I would stick my head in Tyler's studio where he's directing something, and I'd be like, hey man, I just want to say hi, and dude, I'd sure love to audition for anything that's coming down the pipe with Fairy Tale. And he's like, I got you in mind, Vic. Keeping you in mind. I'm looking for something good for you. I don't want to just, I don't want to just like throw you into like Soldier A. You know what I mean? Or Bystander, I'm looking for something good. And so I've just kind of been impatiently waiting until something came along, and when he let me know about Mark Guerin, awesome. So I'm just happy to be any part of it at all. If any other character were to come up, I'd be happy to do it. Yes, my dear. Yeah?
Actually, right before you ask your question, I just want to let you know this is going to be the last question.
Okay, last question.
So, of all of the characters that you've ever voiced, which one was the most excited you were about?
Which one was the one I was most excited to play? Probably Tamaki. You know, Tom, you remember how I said earlier for the other person's question that we don't get a lot of prep time? There's not a lot of research. You just don't have time for that. And you don't even know a lot of times what you're going to do, who you're going to play. So how can you research something that if you don't know, right, who it is? But with Oron, Caitlin Glass, who played Haruhi and also directed the series, Caitlin told me about Oron like months before it was even licensed by Funimation. When it was just subtitled and it was just kind of out there. Caitlin called me one day and she said, I just found this anime and it's so funny and it's so charming and there's this character that it's you. And so I was kind of excited to watch some of it. So she gave me a disc with the first, 6 or 7 episodes, I can't even remember. And I watched it and I fell in love with Tamaki. Now, you guys, you need to understand, it wasn't licensed. Which means, had it been licensed by a company in Canada, I wouldn't even have a chance to audition. There are several shows that I wanted to be a part of and was even supposed to be a part of, but then they went to Canada, like Inuyasha. I was originally, the producer wanted me to play one of the bad guys in Inuyasha, but it was recorded in Canada. And one of the things is, if you record a show in Canada, one of the agreements is you have to hire Canadian actors, studios, and engineers. So same thing with Death Note. I wanted to be a part of that, and I thought it was gonna be, and then it went to Canada. So had Oron gone to Canada, I wouldn't have even had the chance to audition. Had it gone to a studio on the West Coast when I was living in Houston at the time, probably wouldn't have even got to audition. But as luck would have it, or destiny, divine providence, it went to Funimation. And I wanted Tamaki so bad. And everybody knew it. Like Caitlin, who ended up being the director, she knew it. But she was committed to casting an ensemble. So everybody had to sound good together. You know what I mean by that? So even if you were great as Hikaru, if you didn't sound good with this girl as Kaoru, then maybe we need to cast somebody else. So it wasn't enough just to sound good by yourself, it needed to work with the ensemble. So a lot of things had to line up. But I fell in love with Tamaki before the show was even licensed. So when I booked that role, I savored every line I ever said. I savored it. In fact, I used to ask Caitlin to let me do it again. Like I'd do the line, welcome poor man to our world of beauty. And Caitlin would go, okay, that's great, let's move on. I'm like, can I do it again? It was fine. It was fine, let's do it, let's go. Just one more? Because I just didn't want to let it go. You know what I mean? I wanted it to last, wanted the experience to last as long as possible. You guys, I hope it wasn't too disappointing that Todd wasn't here. I hope I made an acceptable fill-in substitute teacher. And I'm going to head over to the autograph area, and I hope you'll come and see me. All right? Thanks for being here. Thank you guys. I love you.